was the height of summer, and everything in the backyard was feeling the drought. The weeds were thriving, grass drying out, the air was heavy. And honestly, so was life. It was the start to one of the hardest seasons I've ever experienced, having to let go of things that, no matter how hard I tried, didn't feel right anymore. And creating these backyard sanctuary videos felt like the one thing keeping me grounded. On one of the toughest days, I walked outside and the yard was full of dragonflies. Tons of them. It felt like a reminder that even in the middle of things falling apart, there was still magic, still movement, a light breaking through this heaviness. Dragonflies are ancient creatures that have survived millions of years by adapting even through the harshest conditions. Seeing them in such a large number felt like an overwhelming message that I too can adapt to a new way of life, that I'm stronger than I think. That same week, I stumbled into some of the most aligned secondhand finds I've come across for this backyard sanctuary in the making. Almost like the universe was balancing things out. Okay, I am like shaking and sweating right now because there was an estate sale in my neighborhood, like the next street over, and I just happened to go because I was like, I mean, could be good, could be horrible, who knows. Yeah, it was one of those where it was just a sign. This person was clearly an artist and had amazing outdoor decorative items. Like, I got this plinth for plants, I got like all these cute little trinkets, I've got 3 planters and a lantern and a statue, a freaking concrete statue. Sorry the camera is really shaky right now, but like I'm like so shaky and sweaty because I just cannot believe that I found all these amazing things for $52. Yeah, I need to calm down because I am beyond excited. Rinsed off some of those planters because there was a bunch of ants in them, and I am about to pass out. Okay, so it's later in the day and I've cooled off. I've put all of my garden stuff kind of over towards my shed where I think it's ultimately gonna go, but I don't quite have the ground mulch area prepared for it yet, so I can't really set anything up. So I've really just kind of started collecting planters and then just like little bits of decor to kind of give that English countryside cottage kind of ornamental garden type of a feel. So yeah, I'll show you guys that in a minute, but I did want to show you the interior stuff that I got. So I've got this little dragonfly, which I just love this guy. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But I personally have just like always felt really connected to dragonflies. And then, so the other things that I got, since my dog is like a white little lab mix, got this little guy, which he has this sweet little like ornamental flower motif painted on the back of him. That is freaking adorable. Doesn't look exactly like my dog, but it resembles her enough that I just really wanted it. And it was just so pretty. Last thing here is this crystal candle holder, and it was made in Brazil. The last thing that I got, bring you guys over here to the kitchen, is this vase. I think this is so pretty. I don't know, I just really love this shape. And like I've been looking for like a kind of thin vase like this for putting, I have some wildflowers that I planted at my mailbox that I want to display and just like always have like fresh cut flowers in the house. And so I did have this vase there, which was just like a grocery store vase, but this is beautiful. So excuse all of the random assortment of jars over here. Yeah, that'll be really pretty with some flowers in it. I know it's probably really windy right now and probably really hard to hear, but I just was on a walk and I found or came across a concrete planter that I really want, so I'm driving back to go get it and hopefully it's still there, and it's also really freaking hot. Really trying to record that, and I honestly don't know how I picked that thing up and carried it in here because it probably weighed like 70 pounds and it's so fucking hot. Oh my god, it feels like my air is blowing out hot air right now. I'm trying to find a path that is more shaded. Oh my god. Wow, you know how I said it feels like my air is blowing hot air on me? Because it was. I had it on heat. I fucking had it on heat. What is wrong with me? Okay. Feels better now. But oh my god, that was heavy. But I'm really excited because I love concrete planters and I didn't realize how fucking heavy they were. The eastern snowball viburnum I transplanted was really suffering after the heat wave and lack of rain. This was about 2 months after I had gotten her. I felt it was time to really trim all of the dead branches back so that it wasn't wasting energy on dead or dying limbs. It also felt like at this point it had recovered enough from the initial shock of being uprooted and was settling into its new home. There was also some new growth starting to appear near the base, so I felt like I was finally in the clear. Of course, it will have some work to do this spring, but I'm hoping she'll bounce back quickly. Yay! I just scored another Facebook Marketplace find. So this time it is a white metal garden cart that I've been looking for one of these honestly for like a year or so now. Just because I need one for my plants. It's a little rusted, that's fine. I am going to go pick it up now and just have to go get change because I don't have the exact cash and I'm not trying to give her like basically double. She listed it for $26, but okay. So anyways, that's what I'm doing. It's just always really exciting when the thing you've been looking for just happens to come about and then you're like the first person to respond and it's cheap and it's nearby. It's the trifecta. Okay, so had to go to Sheetz and buy some Sour Patch Kids so that I could have a $5 bill because I only had 20s. So now I'm on my way. Oh my goodness, so cute. Okay.
You never know when people like they message you and then you never hear back, and I'm like, all right, seriously, people, like.
That's why, yeah, I'm always trying to just like grab it as quick as I
and
can
it's like done.
because I'm like, yeah,
Done deal.
exactly. Thank you. Perfect.
Perfect. That's an accord for you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Everybody's always like, that's such a small car, and I'm like, no, it's
My
not.
dad had one forever.
Yeah. And this one's beat up too, so I'm not like worried about scratching it or anything, but there, perfect.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too. Oh, that was nice. She was a very nice lady. All right. There she is. Nothing sprayed paint can't fix. Okay, so where I have things now, I don't think it's going to be the final result, obviously, but things look a little neater than they were before with just the like planters strewn about, so it's a little bit better. But I mean, I obviously have to get plants and plant things. I don't know how sturdy it'll be with some of the sized planters that I have, so we'll see. So I've just got these watering spikes here, which I'm trying to make it so that I don't have to water my star jasmine wall as often. So what I'm gonna do is, these are made of terracotta, and I'm gonna soak them in water to let the water kind of like soak and like seep into the terracotta. And then I've got these bottles here that I fill up with water, turn them upside down and put them in, the terracotta spike things, and then it just kind of passively waters the container plant for a few days. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do 3 in each star jasmine container, and hopefully that'll just kind of tie things over in between waterings, or if it's been like it has for the past like week or 2 where we haven't had pretty much any rain, it'll just save me from having to water every day. So I just have 2 bottles right now, so I'm just starting with 2 just to see how it works. And I also have to water. I have peat moss all over my hands. I also have to water the container of the star jasmine before I do this, because if the container is already really dry, it's just gonna run through all of the water that I'm putting in these bottles and these terracotta spikes. So I'm getting ready to go on vacation, and I have a few more bottles that I can use to put in these planters here to help keep the jasmine watered while I'm gone. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quick before we leave. So to wrap this video up, I wanted to talk a little bit about the plan that I had for these thrifted items for my backyard. Because as of mid-November, when I'm currently recording this, I still have not placed any of these items in their final locations, and because of that, I don't have any really aesthetic after shots or photos to show you guys. I've touched on this a little bit, but if you're new here or just need a refresher, here's the vision. I'm slowly building an English cottage style garden, complete with privacy hedges, concrete statues, bird baths, potted plants, pretty much tucked into every corner. And I'll insert some inspiration photos here. And to actually bring this vision to life and to put all these thrifted items to use, there's a bit of prep work that I need to do in order to get all of this ready. The first thing I need to do is I need to mulch along the side of my fence line, basically from the camellia mulch bed all the way back to the back fence line. I need to connect those 2 sections of mulch. I'm going to mulch completely around the shed to clean up those borders as well. And speaking of the shed, you might have noticed that it's in pretty rough shape. Eventually, I'd love to replace it and build a new one in the very back corner of the yard, basically behind where the shed is currently, but that's a bit far off in the future. So for now, my plan is to conceal all of the rough spots on the shed with potted plants. So basically potted plants everywhere. Hence why I'm always on the hunt for cheap planters or free planters, because I have a lot of rough spots on that shed that I need to conceal. The other thing that I don't really want to start without the mulch is I don't want to buy the soil for the potted plants, nor do I want to buy the plants themselves, because I haven't even researched which plants I even want to plant in those pots. So that's looking like a spring project. About 3 weeks ago, I also had a vein ablation procedure for a varicose vein that I have. And so really this fall wasn't a great time for me to work on a second round of mulch. I know I haven't shown you guys the end of me finishing that first pile of mulch, because most of that mulch ends up going to my front yard, and that's not a part of this backyard sanctuary series. So you will get to see that eventually, just not sure when that video is coming out yet. And to be completely honest with you guys, between my yard projects and I also have a lot of house projects going on, or at least in some sort of planning stage, I have a lot going on. Not to mention learning how to make these videos and keeping a timeline that makes sense has been a whole process. All of that to say, I did want to take a moment here to thank you guys for watching, for following along and subscribing. It really means a lot to me that you guys are interested in what I have to share and just want to hang out here with me. So thank you. My intention for this channel really is about process. So doing things little by little as I have the time and energy. So even though I'm not revealing huge transformations yet, my hope is that as things start to progress, you'll start to see how every small act builds momentum. And eventually you look around and see how a space becomes something that makes all of the effort worth it. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a lovely day or night or morning whenever you're watching this video, and I will see you soon. Bye.